Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Venus Williams reveals the unspoken truth about her French Open showdowns with sister Serena. Venus and Serena Williams didn't just break into tennis, they kicked the door wide open. Both turned professional at just 14, one after the other between 1994 and 1995. From the moment they arrived on the scene to making history as the stars of the U.S. Open's first ever primetime women's final in 2001, and all the way their final seasons together, the sisters left an undeniable mark on the sport and beyond. And now Venus is looking back at some of their unforgettable memories at Roland Garros. Venus Williams stepped into a new arena last week, the broadcast booth. The 44-year-old recently joined the TNT Sports team as a commentator for the French Open. Sharing the news on X, she wrote, "I'm excited to join at 10 Sports as a commentator for at Roland Garros, alongside this incredible roster of athletes. Stay tuned for our coverage to start on Sunday, May 25. #Roland Garros." She dropped the update on her Instagram stories too. Since then, we've had a barrage of amazing perspectives and some doses of nostalgia. Particularly since the French Open was a site that witnessed many dreams of the Williams sisters come true. Talking to the panel on TNT Sports, Venus recalled, "We played a final here. We won our first doubles major here. Played against her in a mixed doubles final, if you can imagine. So a lot of again, playing with each other, playing against each other. But that was our dream growing up, to play each other in the final. Now, of course, when you get there, it's a lot trickier than what you dreamed of as a kid. But it's still the dream, and it's crazy that we got to live it so many times." They really did live that dream. Serena and Venus Williams faced each other 31 times in their careers, with Serena leading the rivalry 19-12. Of those 31 matches, the 2002 French Open final is hard to forget. Serena beat Venus 7-5, 6-3 to win her first Roland Garros singles title in 3 years. That win also meant the Williams sisters became No. 1 and No. 2 with the world rankings. But their rivalry wasn't just limited to singles. In 1998, the sisters met in the French Open mixed doubles final. Venus paired up with Justin Gimelstob, and Serena teamed with Luis Lobo. The result? Venus and Gimelstob won 6-4, 6-4. It was the only time the sisters faced off in a mixed doubles Grand Slam final. Of course, they weren't just rivals. They were partners in crime too. Venus and Serena won the women's doubles title at Roland Garros twice. First came the 1999 title, where they beat Martina Hingis and Anna Kournikova. Then in 2010, they defeated Kata Peshka and Katerina Srebotnik 6-2, 6-3. That win was historic. Not only was it their second French Open doubles crown, but they also became the first sisters to be co-ranked world No. 1 in doubles, and completed their second career Golden Slam in women's doubles. And their influence still echoes today. Jessica Pegula, currently flying the American flag at Roland Garros, recently spoke about that impact. After beating former Wimbledon champion Marketa Vondrousova 3-6, 6-4, 6-2, she made it to the round of 16. Not bad for someone who had lost early in 3 straight clay tournaments before the French Open. She's not alone though. Pegula is one of 5 American women in the last 16, joined by Coco Gauff, Amanda Anisimova, Madison Keys, and Haley Baptiste. Over on the men's side, 3 American players have also reached the same stage. In her post-match press conference, Pegula was told that there are 15 WTA American players inside the top 100. She replied, "It is incredible. I did not know the exact number, but 15 is a crazy number." Quick fact check. There are actually 16 WTA players inside the top 100. The world know 3 added. We are a big country, and I think we have so much depth, and we have a lot of inspiration from girls like Serena and Venus, who have inspired so many generations of players, because they played for so long and are still such icons. I think maybe that is why we are a really strong generation for tennis, and seeing girls like myself, Maddie, and Coco do well. I hope we are still inspiring the even younger girls coming up. That legacy is hard to top. Between them, Serena and Venus Williams have 14 women's doubles Grand Slam titles and were never beaten in a Grand Slam doubles final. That's right, 14-0. In singles, they share 30 Grand Slam titles. Venus and Serena gave tennis history some of its brightest moments. Which one you remember the most? Let us know in the comments below. Venus Williams reveals the unspoken truth about her French Open showdowns with sister Serena. By your name. The red clay of Roland Garros has always whispered secrets. Beneath the echo of thudding tennis balls and polite applause, it remembers. It remembers battles, not just of athletes against opponents, but against history, expectation, and even family. No rivalry embodies this better than the one between Venus and Serena Williams. For decades, the Williams sisters have captivated the world with their power, elegance, and unshakable bond. Their story is one of unparalleled sisterhood and fierce competition. But for Venus, the French Open, with its gritty courts and moody Parisian skies, has always been a mirror of her most complex inner truths. This year, sitting under the golden twilight in her Florida home, Venus finally broke her silence in an intimate conversation, not with a journalist, but in a candid personal essay shared during an exclusive panel hosted by the Women's Tennis Legacy Foundation. Her words peeled back the layers of poise and professionalism, revealing the emotional terrain of her showdowns with Serena at Roland Garros. "We were never just playing tennis." Venus begins slowly, her voice steady but laced with memory. "I think people never really understood what it meant, emotionally, to walk out onto the court and see my sister across the net, especially in Paris. The French Open, one of the sport's most unforgiving tournaments, was always a place where the sisters had to pretend they weren't family for 2 hours, that every point didn't pull at something deeper than muscle and sinew. It wasn't just a match. It was our childhood, our sacrifices, our late nights practicing under Compton streetlights, condensed into a stadium where everyone watched us pretend to be strangers." They met at Roland Garros 3 times in 2002, 2003, and 2010. The first showdown, in 2002, was arguably the most monumental. It was the first time 2 sisters had met in a Grand Slam final since 1884. The world held its breath. Serena won in straight sets. But no one asked how it felt to lose to someone you helped raise. Venus said, pausing, "I was proud, and I was devastated. That's the truth." The silence between points. Venus describes the matches as almost surreal, like watching a reflection of herself through a kaleidoscope of love and rivalry. "When Serena would miss a shot, part of me hurt for her, but I couldn't show it. And when I won a point, it was like winning twice and losing once. Winning the match, but losing the illusion that I could ever compete without caring." There were moments, she admits, when her instinct to protect her sister kicked in. "I remember in the 2010 quarterfinal, Serena slipped a little near the baseline. I caught myself mid-step. I almost ran over. That's not what opponents do. That's what sisters do." She chuckled softly, eyes glinting with memory. "We trained our whole lives to be champions, but no one ever trained us to play against each other." Clay, the truth teller. Venus refers to clay courts as truth tellers. Hard courts favor power. Grass favors quickness. But clay, it reveals every crack in movement, mindset, and mechanics. And for the Williams sisters, it revealed their emotional truths. Clay makes you work. It doesn't let you finish a point quickly. You have to grind. That means more time to think. More time to remember she's your sister. In 2003, Serena beat Venus again, this time in the semifinals. That tournament was emotionally heavier than most. It was just months before their older sister, Yetunde Price, would be tragically killed in a drive-by shooting. We didn't talk about that match much afterward. There were other, bigger pains. But I remember feeling like we were ghosts on that court, just shadows of ourselves trying to hold it together. Rituals and resistance. Before each match, Venus developed a quiet ritual, one no one knew about until now. I'd write something on my wristband. A word, sometimes just an initial. Something to remind me who I was before the spotlight, before the rivalries. In Paris, that word was often roots. It meant everything. That we came from the same home, same mother, same father. That even if the world watched us like gladiators, we were always going to walk off that court with love. Despite this deep emotional terrain, neither sister ever gave less than their all. That was their promise. Not just to each other, but to the sport. You can be soft inside, Venus says, and still swing hard. That was always our contradiction. Unspoken agreements. Venus admits that some things between them were never said aloud, and didn't have to be. There was an agreement, silent but sacred, that we wouldn't hold back, even when it hurt emotionally, that we owed it to the game, to ourselves,